President of Emery Thompson Machine.
I'm Christy Brown, Vice President of Sales and Marketing.
And welcome to our weekly questions answered. Christy, why don't you start off?
Oh, well, that was a little quick. Okay, so John from Canada, one of my good buddies, he asked, can you use Mami's Gelato dairy-free mix for cream ice instead of regular dairy? Well, Mami's Gelato is a dairy-free powder. Yes, it's coconut. And you definitely can use this as a substitute to make your cream ice versus just regular traditional dairy. Mami's Gelato is a great product. It ships very well. It's shelf stable. You don't have to refrigerate it. You mix it with water and let it bloom, so you most definitely can use it when you want to make a cream ice instead of using, so it's a dairy-free cream ice.
It'll be great. It'll be totally dairy-free.
Yep. They have two, the coconut, did I say that? And outrageous?
No, you didn't.
Okay, so they have two. Coconut has a coconut background taste, and then the outrageous has no background taste. So if you're using a coconut flavor, coconut would be great. If you want to make something like a chocolate cream ice or an orange cream ice, the best to use the outrageous because it doesn't have a background taste.
And how do you spell the website?
MAMIS Gelato.com.
That's easy.
Yeah.
You can remember that. And if you can't, call us. Call Christy. Right, Christy. Christy at EmeryThompson.com. I've got one that I really like. Just for markers, this is the beginning. We're into the beginning of the Italian ice season. Back in the Northeast, up in New York, it's pretty much May 1st until Columbus Day, mid-October. And then after that, people think, well, winter's coming. I got to go up into the attic and get my winter clothes out. I can't eat Italian ice. Down here in the South, it goes all year long, and so it really depends on where you are, but great season to sell Italian ices. My customer, Marshall, said that I want to get into the Italian ice business, but I don't have the full purchase price right now of the machine I think I need, the CB350. Should I wait a year? Or should I look into your financing and see what to do? Well, May 1st, and we still have to, or May 15th, around there.
16th?
Somewhere 16th. Around there. We're at the height of the season, and I'm really big on getting people into business, and get them into business fast. Get making money now. So let's forego buying the Emery Thompson for now, and talk to either Little Jimmy's up in Jersey or Rosati in Philadelphia. These are wholesale manufacturers of Italian ice. They can both advise you, especially Little Jimmy's can advise you on getting a push cart, selling you the ices, and get you out there selling the product. It's going to bring in a lot of money for you. When you get to making your own, it's going to be an even better product because it'll be all natural. It'll be under $10 for a tub, and you won't have the high shipping costs. So there's just tremendous advantages for making your own. But for now, I'd be more interested in seeing you hit the season, get some money going, get to learn the business, it's not too hard to learn how to scoop, but just the ins and outs of it so that next spring you'll be ready to go.
Okay. My next one is, let me stretch, table's farther away than normal. Can I fill popsicle or cake molds right from the machine? Yes and no. So if you have a CB200, this is going to work beautifully with it. CB200 is 3 quarts, so you can easily crack open the gate, don't open it full blast, and hold your silicone mold and just go across it and then just push it down with your spatula or whatever you have. Same thing goes with the cake mold. If you go to the CB350, you're going to have to be a little bit faster than normal. It's got 1.5 gallons, but as long as you get your speed down, then you'll be a pro at it. When you hit the larger machines, as the floor models, there's absolutely no way, because you trying to pump 6 gallons of ice cream into a bunch of little itty bitty molds, it's going to be very hard, and the consistency will not be the same. So with 6 gallons of ice cream sitting in a cylinder and you're trying to fill up these tiny little things, your first batch of popsicles or cakes are going to be about the right overrun you're looking for, but by the time you get to the end, you're going to have some very high overrun because that dasher has been spinning that whole time while you try to sit and fill all of these. You can get these silicone molds from what Steve always says, Mad Maggie's, but their website is coldmolds.com. And then, of course, the inevitable big bad partner of Amazon.
All right, so a question.
Yes.
How do you get the popsicle stick in there?
Right here. There's a little hole at the end, and then you put your popsicle
okay.
in, your
They thought
stick
of
after you
everything.
fill. Yeah.
And that's certainly less expensive than a $30,000 popsicle machine.
Oh gosh, yeah. No, hard labor never hurt anybody, right?
And because they're rubberized, they just pop right out.
They do, and I have tested that out actually. Not with the popsicles, but I have with this, and it just completely folds right out.
Nice.
But I've done it, and it came out beautifully. I mean, it had the perfect seam corners and everything.
Huh.
Yeah.
Simple. Let's see. My next one is, can I put a CB350 or a CB200 or even a 24 quart on a truck and make ices and ice cream? Absolutely. It's really not difficult at all. It'll probably be an air-cooled unit. Certainly the countertops are air-cooled, or the larger 24 behind me, we build an air-cooled, and that will allow you to put it on a truck. A lot of people have the misconception that they're going to be making ice cream and ices while they're out at a fair or a festival. No, it's going to be like making cakes. You wouldn't be baking cakes at a festival. You're going to make them in advance and bring an inventory of it with you. So you've got the machine in the truck, and Monday through Thursday, you're making ices or ice cream and building up an inventory, and you can walk it out of the truck and put it into your freezers in the garage. The key phrase that I've said before is your truck has the business license. So wherever that truck is, you have the license to make ices or ice cream or dairy-free or gelato on it. Very simple setup. We'll work with your electrician to explain how to do it. And with the CB350 behind me and the 200, if you buy the stand, then you can roll it out into the aisle and make your ices or ice cream, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday evening, and then roll it back into place, and then lock it down with some clamps or straps. So we do a lot of trucks. It's a great way to get going. It might eventually end up into a store, but it's a less expensive way to get into business.
Okay, good advice. And, like you said, they can't tell you where you power your machine at either, as long as the machine's in there, because the health department approved it, but you can get your power from anywhere, so your garage works too.
Yeah.
Running the line from there.
That's right, easy.
It is. So my last one is, how do I pack pints? So same concept with the molds. If you have a 200 or a 350, as long as you got all these empty pints hanging around with the lids off, and you have someone handed you an empty one while you hand them back a full one, that process works. Some people, I have heard the most famous method is to extract all of your ice cream, and they like to put it in their hardening cabinet or chest freezer, whichever you had, for about 10 to 20 minutes, whichever is your preference, and then they take it back out and then hand scoop it into the pint. Here's a trick. When you have your pints packed, freeze them upside down. This is a famous method still used today by Ben & Jerry's. Have you ever gone to the grocery store and you go to peel off a pint lid and it's completely stuck to the lid? Well, everybody thinks that they pack it perfectly. Well, not true. They fill it up with ice cream, put it upside
Simple.
down. Yeah, and it's a self-sealing. So no need for the clear labels, no need to get you a pint sealing machine. Just freeze them upside down. And I'm telling you what, whenever I make ice cream at home and I put it upside down, sometimes I fight with it because it's sealed so perfectly. I'm like,
It was 2008 when I first invented the infinite overrun control, where you could slow the machine down to put less air in the product. As Christy mentioned before in her previous question, if you leave it in there too long, and especially at a high speed, it's going to be a different air content. The air content's going to go up. So when you first came to work, you've probably forgotten, you first came to work and I showed you how to make run the CB350, and I was trying to fill pints, and I said, here's the problem, you can't do it because it's going too fast. You looked at it and you started tapping the speed button down to about 130 from 234. And now it's not spinning as fast, and you've got more time to fill the pints right at the Emery Thompson batch freezer without adding additional air because it's spinning too slow.
Right.
And then when you got to the last part of
Speed
it,
it back
you
up.
just tapped it back up.
Yep.
So that works great too. My last question was a problem a new customer is having with their lemon ice, and he sent me a picture, and he said that it was separating, and he had about 1.5 inches of liquid at the bottom of the tub. Well, I gave him back a quick answer
30 seconds.
towards the end of the weekend. I looked at it over the weekend, but real fast because Mike just said we have 30 seconds. Make sure your hardening cabinet is as cold as it can be and you don't overfill it. You can add a bit more sugar to the product. You ought to be using at least 2 pounds of sugar in the CB350, 7 to 8 pounds in the 24 quart. And finally, check the serving temperature of your cabinet. It may not be as accurate as your thermometer is. We want somewhere between 15 and 16 degrees for all natural. And that's it.
Okay.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.